If you're having trouble telling, it can help to ask questions about, is it likely that any intellectual property could potentially come out of this transaction? Or is it possible that a subrecipient or the personnel working at the entity could participate in a publication that's resulting from this research? If you have an answer that's yes to either one of those questions, you almost certainly have a subaward. Whereas if the answer is no, you really very much are likely to have a vendor transaction instead.
One of the tricky areas that can be hard for a faculty member to sometimes understand is that a university can even be a vendor because, of course, universities have research centers. They might be doing DNA sequencing, or they might be having some sort of facility that's processing part of the project, and that may even be managed by another faculty member or a colleague at that institute, but that doesn't necessarily make it different from a vendor. That actually, if the work that's being done there is just testing samples or running data or getting data sets, it doesn't necessarily translate. You have to look at the actual programmatic efforts. And the implications of getting that incorrectly defined at the proposal stage is incredibly problematic, because if you get a subaward in your budget and it's over $25,000 and you reduce that, you eliminate that indirect cost on anything over that first $25,000, and it turns out that say $50,000 cost is actually a vendor, the federal government is not going to give you the balance back because you made a mistake in the definition of choosing a subcontractor versus a vendor. So it's really, really important that you ask those questions right up front, and that you make sure that things don't get done just because somebody is trying to reduce indirect costs on the from the bottom line.
That actually happens at your institution? That someone do that?
It generally happens from misunderstanding the purposes of it, but yes, and when you show the budgeting difference and the implications of not defining it correctly, and that funding would have to come from discretionary sources, then generally that mistake will be corrected.